Welcome to Sports Minds, where all roads lead to sports, and we talk ball every season. We're your hosts, Legendarius, Hatchmaster Z, and Filthy. Legendarius, kick us off with the opening segment, please.
Well, it's episode 24, so we got to do it right. There's only one 24 in history that matters, one 24 in history that should matter. Anybody else who wears number 24 should retire it. 24, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to the legend. This episode is obviously dedicated to him. My man's 2 Olympic gold medals, 18-time NBA All-Star, 5-time champion, 2 finals MVPs, NBA MVP, number 2 points all time in the game, 81 points on your head. Kobe, rest in peace, bro.
Kobe.
Greatest Laker of all time.
Mamba. Mr. Black Mamba himself.
Yes,
Can't
sir.
fight me. Throw the ball in my face. I am unfazed. Let's go. I'll put my boot in your face, though.
For real.
One of the best Olympic moments ever. Talking about, Paul, I'm about to fucking run through him.
Well, I used to say, too, Kobe should have trademarked his master I'm not finished line, because the way they've been repeating this thing across every single sport, his family would be cared of forever. He should have trademarked that thing, because they are abusing that.
Oh, for real, bro.
Job's not done. Job's not done. All right.
Job's not finished.
Job ain't finished yet. You finished? Yeah, man. But, all right, my G, we got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Another special guest for you guys lined up. We couldn't help it. We love the guests so much. We got to bring in one more. Well, this is a special one to round out our NFL prediction segment. An actual Chargers fan going back to San Diego, of all places. An actual Supersonics fan. We got a special type of sports mind in the building. David Ferrer, a.k.a. Big Slick of All In Music Universe, a.k.a. Slick. Yo, talk to him. Rep your teams. What you about, Big Slick?
Man, thank you for having me. Excited to be on with you guys. I've been down since the Necessary Roughness days, and cousin Phil being, just a spot on guest. So definitely San Diego Charger fans. LA is still not the same, but I got to support. Padre fan, of course, and the Sonics fan. Just when they left Oklahoma City, I followed them a little bit, but this wasn't the same. So I just stay with the Sonics and stick with the throwbacks and just watch the entire league.
That's what's
there we
up.
go.
That's what's up.
Not a lot of Sonics fans, but
I know.
Hey, in the back, they might get a team in these next, this next decade.
Yeah, they're talking about it.
Well, I'm curious, how you feel your Padres are doing right now? It's pretty close in the MLB. It's getting hot. It's about to be that time of year where the playoffs are looking pretty solid. How you feeling about them?
They're below expectation with how much money they've spent. Their window is definitely not closed, but with the trade deadline coming up next week, they may move a couple of big name players, and we'll see how that goes. I would love them, to trade for Ohtani, but it looks like he's not going anywhere. So,
yeah, seriously. Speaking of Ohtani, man, how you feel about he's been performing lately, man? He just had an incredible performance, shut down the Tigers in an incredible historic performance.
He's a generational player. If you're not, even if you don't watch baseball, the kid's special. You haven't seen anything in baseball for a long time. You can go back to maybe Griffey or Bonds, but no one's doing what he's doing as far as pitching and hitting home runs. That's unheard of in that sport. He's going to eventually be up there with Jordan, Kobe, mentioned in those same breaths, LeBron, of something you just haven't seen before. And to throw a shutout and then go hit some home runs the next game, let me know when you've seen that in the past 50 years. You haven't.
Yeah, for real. And, since we also, we cover all sports, we kind of lean into fantasy football here too. Mr. Big Slick over here, killer with the fantasy football. He actually one of the few people that actually showed me the ropes on fantasy, maybe the kind of player I am today. So for the fantasy heads out there, talk a little bit about your strategy. How have you been so successful? I know you've been winning plenty of championships across your leagues. I mean, what's a little bit into the mind of that fantasy mind? How do you do work?
I mean, it depends on the league settings, of course. Legendarius, I don't know if he remembers or not, but he's also been privy to my Wrath and Fantasy. Um,
Yeah.
but um, as I'm an aggressive, owner when it comes to fantasy, I guess you could say. And like I said, when the waiver wire is open, I'm usually the first one on top. I'll stay up till midnight and put in those at midnight, ready to go. Aggressive trade wise. Um, this there's never an off season for me. So I mean, I watch everything since especially now everything is TV ready. When it comes to the NFL. Uh, so paying attention to coaching moves, um, free agent movement, draft, everything. Everything is so now that you have to be paying attention. So, but my thing is just being aggressive and drafting well and knowing systems and
One thing we
Okay.
can definitely say is you're definitely not a casual fantasy football player. It's definitely not for the weak, your style of
I was
play.
about to say, look, he's explaining it as if he was Bill Belichick or Stan Kroenke, building teams, being aggressive. So
pretty,
you know what? I'm gonna trade you today.
pretty much. I mean, it's I like to win. I do play for it's fun. I enjoy shit talking with other people in the league and stuff like that. But
I gotta
you know,
stop you there. You said you like to win. Like
yeah,
is a light word. So you meant to say you love to win.
I love to win. I like to win. I play to win.
There you go. There you go.
Let's
There
put
you
this.
go.
I don't like losing. I'm not playing to lose. So, I
Correct.
mean, you be correct about that, Hashmaster. That's you know, I that's why that's why you play the game, right?
Exactly, exactly. No, I just wanted to make sure that at least the listeners, don't twist your words. So it's like, oh, he likes to win, but does he love to?
Yeah,
Like, no, he
no,
loves to
I
win.
got you. I totally get it. Now, definitely play to win the game. It's bragging rights and everything else. Filthy knows he's had
Yes,
a pretty
sir.
good run of late. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I've been playing for a long time, and like he said, I was showing him some things in his early stages of fantasy, and he's definitely learned well. Given his last some back to back runs in fantasy football. So
Yes, sir. Well, stick around. We definitely got a full slate for you. Stick around. It's going to be some fun. Got to get your input on a bunch of stuff. So, let's see. Well, we want to start off with actually, I wanted to bring this up. So, I mean, they're revealing, every time, every season, all these teams, and it was specifically NFL, they reveal the throwback jerseys and whatnot. And the Titans, they revealed the Oilers throwbacks, and I just wanted to highlight this because I just want to ask, is it a little bit like shady or disrespectful that they're bringing back the Oilers stuff, given that they left them anyways when they were originally in Houston? And I wanted to especially bring this up for you, Big Slick, because I mean, as a Sonics fan and a Chargers fan, you pretty much experienced this twice. So if you were to have, some throwbacks, would you feel like that's a slap in the face, being a Titan fan, Oiler fans still exist, they're still around. So how you guys feel about that? Is this disrespect or shady to just bring back these jerseys to a fan base that's actually still alive?
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's the history of the franchise. So, I mean, you can be like, oh, you guys relocated, but it's like, it's not like we traded all our players and our history away. So I feel like Houston Titans, like they're the same franchise. So they kind of like own the rights to that sort of stuff. So if they want to throw it back,
Right.
if they want to rock the throwback, that's their choice.
Yeah.
Fans gonna watch anyway. It's like shut up about the jerseys, bro. You're gonna watch the game. You're gonna watch our games. It doesn't matter what we're wearing.
Yeah,
uh,
and the thing that people forget is the Tennessee Titans have used the Oilers throwbacks before. Like I remember them in Steve McNair's days.
Yeah.
So, and then Vince Young and CJ2K wore those Oiler jerseys before. So it's, all of a sudden that social media is bigger than ever, and then somebody noticed it that probably never saw it before, blows it up. Everyone complains because they don't remember where it's been there the whole time. So
You want to know what throwback jerseys I do want to see?
What?
Washington. I'm kidding,
version.
but that would be hilarious.
yeah,
The football
I
team
was just
version.
not hurting this dude just as tone deaf.
Dan Snyder's like, I want my team back. We're rocking throwbacks, guys. Let's go.
Dan Snyder throwback night.
Well, Slick, let me ask you, just because most recently, the Chargers is the most recent team, that dipped from one spot to another. I mean, for you, was it hard for you to want to follow them in LA? Because I know some San Diego fans, once they dip, they're done with the Chargers. I think we definitely know mutual Chargers fans that quit supporting the Chargers. So, I mean, how is that for you? What makes you want to keep following a team once it leaves where you're from? You know what I mean?
I mean, it was hard at first. I do not care for Dean Spanos as an owner. His dad was far better. Moving to LA, they moved, to rent a building from the Rams billionaire owner when San Diego could have built them a new stadium, but they went for whatever money NFL was giving them. LA is not an NFL city. They've already expressed that they actually don't want the NFL there, but the NFL needs to be there because of the market. Like, I understand that. It's as far as Tennessee goes, I understand Houston as a city having maybe an issue with that, but really it's the Adams family is the one who owns the Oilers. They were the Tennessee Oilers when they first moved. So it's not a far cry for them to be wearing the throwback when the Texans really don't have the history that's starting as an expansion team. So to me, it's not really. And you look at the time where this is coming out. The sports kind of a non-news. Month of July. They may get more than what it has to be. But as far as the Chargers go, it'd be bittersweet. Let's say if they won the Super Bowl. Just because I'm from San Diego, I've been to Jack Murphy Stadium before they destroyed it and all that stuff. And, I'd be happy for them. I'd still rep it, because they're still the Chargers, but that'd still be bittersweet because I'd rather have them win in San Diego.
Yeah. I feel that. All right, then we'll stick into NFL, and we're going to stick right on. Speaking of your Chargers, let's talk about, Herbert over here getting the bag. 262.5. Is that deserved? How you feel about your QB getting paid with a pretty short resume in the postseason?
The market dictates how much they get paid. He's had a little success here lately. Definitely paying for the potential. He plays hurt. And he was that rib injury was more serious than they let on, but he stayed in the game and played. Joe Burrow will get paid more because his resume is better, even though he just got hurt. But Herbert got, a nice, no trade clause in there. I think you're going to see a trend with the NFL, seeing this 5-year deal. It looks like NFL, it looks like it's going to start paying less years. I don't think you're going to see the 10-year, Mahomes deals anymore. Look at the running back. How that's disappeared is beyond me. But I think you're going to see more of these 5-year deals. To me, Joe Burrow should at least get $300 million, but their owner is as cheap as can be in Cincinnati. So
yeah,
who knows what the calf injury will cost him? We'll find another $10 million or something. But what Herbert setting the market. And Herbert and Burrow kind of waiting for each other to see who would sign first. Burrow has the better resume. If he doesn't touch 300 million, I'd be, a little bit surprised. But to me, Herbert, deserves it. He's shown well enough to, get paid in this market. And
yeah, I agree.
Nah.
Look.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Nah.
Yes.
Enough.
Yes.
All right.
He's the highest paid QB in the league now. Justin Herbert, 25 and 24.
That's what the market is all the time.
25 and 24.
Yep.
Justin Herbert, 0 playoff wins. Gets paid more than Jalen Hurts, who was just in the MVP conversation, played in the Super Bowl. Paid more than Lamar Jackson, former MVP. Justin Herbert.
That's literally
25 and 24.
That's the NFL market. As much as we want to agree with it or not, that's how it always happens. When you get paid, you leapfrog over the last guy.
These all just happened this summer, so why would they give him the highest? Like, you know what? We're going to pay you more than these two guys that are clearly better than you.
All right. So, remember what our boy... Look, you brought
more
up
successful.
Look, you brought up something really good, Legendarius, where you said, like, his regular season record, 25-24. So, our boy, Aaron Rodgers, has always said what? You get paid... like your payday comes for what you do in the regular season, and your legacy is what it is in the postseason. So, yeah, his regular season may not have been, I guess on a team winning perspective, been outstanding or anything. But Justin Herbert is the sole reason why why the Chargers have a chance to win their games. He doesn't lose it for them. He wins them. So if you have a quarterback like that, with a mediocre coach, you got to pay him because at least you have one constant that is Justin Herbert to give you those chances to win those games. That's just my personal opinion. If anybody else been,
what about when you're up 27-0 at halftime in the playoffs?
Well, it's not like
I see.
What happens then? What are you paid to do? What are you paid to do then when you're up 27-0 at halftime?
He doesn't play defense.
Yeah, he didn't. It's not his job to stop the other team's offense.
What do you want him to do? Run off on the field and get a pick?
I want him to score points in the second half. That's what I want him to do. I'm not asking for a lot.
But that doesn't dictate him losing the lead.
I mean, if he's scoring points, if you have a 27-point lead and then you continue to score, I don't think you'll lose the lead.
That's college rules. Then the NFL, everyone knows you put the brakes on.
Well,
and
not everyone.
And because of their defense, what can I tell you? That they should have fired. I would have fired everyone on the coaching staff.
Correct.
But somehow Staley's still there
didn't get fired.
Staley would have been fired the next day if I'm the GM. Correct. But they kept him because he's really good friends with one of the Suns' owners, John Spanos.
Yeah.
That's what spared him. But then you fire Lombardi. Okay, but how was the defensive coordinator still there? I would have fired him too.
He would, defensive coordinator giving it up with all the talent. Like, that's the thing about the Chargers story since Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers, right? One of the most talented rosters we've seen in the league. From top to bottom, 1 to 53, talent everywhere, and then they just fall short because of lame duck coaching, or for better or worse, Phillip Rivers. I think he was kind of a choke artist. I don't think Justin Herbert is. So that's what makes it criminal. When Justin Herbert gets,
how is he not? Everyone gives Justin Herbert so much love that he's not a choke artist. He is. He's always in a game late and he doesn't win. What happened against the Raiders?
I think he choked that.
Huh?
I think he choked that game away.
We talking about the do or die game?
Yeah, the do or die game. He came up short. All these times.
He scored, and then the defense gave up the last touchdown. What do you mean?
They didn't give up a touchdown.
What else could he have done?
He could have scored more points against the Raiders defense.
No, he put them in.
He's going on fourth down and making it. How was that his fault? He makes the throws.
They lost.
All right, well, let me ask you this.
Lamar Jackson can't throw an out route.
Lamar Jackson can't throw an out route? How does he win so many games? How does Lamar Jackson win so many games? So many more games?
He can run.
That's why? That's crazy.
Apparently that meme where Homer sinks into the bushes.
And you don't have Greg Roman no more.
We don't need him. That guy's a bum.
I mean, I agree.
I'm not joking. He's a bum.
No, I actually agree with you. I never liked Greg Roman, but that's who Lamar Jackson's been with the whole time.
Now you're gonna see him unlocked.
Let me ask you this as a Chargers fan. What do you want to see in this 5-year deal with, well, really 7 years because it's an extension. So what do you want to see in this tenure with Herbert that's going to make you feel like this is a good investment? Is it going to be more stats, or do you actually want to get into the postseason and, go that way?
But my thing with the Chargers is it's not even they have offense all the time, and for the most part, and they're an offensive team. It's on the other side of the ball where, J.C. Jackson gets hurt. No one can stop the run on the Chargers. You can run right down the middle every time if you want. So if you want from Herbert, Herbert to me is a constant. He's going to keep doing his thing. If they're behind the game, he's going to try to throw them back into it, run them back into it, do whatever he can to keep them going. But if you're not going to stop, the other offense, there's only so much he can do. I mean, unless he starts playing defense, in the next 7 years, I don't see him really tailing off. I mean, they already don't want to pay Austin Eckler. What do you do with the run game? You're going to build around him.
I'm sorry. I'm not sold. I'm not saying Justin Herbert is a bum or anything. Like, he's solid, but like he's not top 5.
Okay,
He's getting top 5 money.
But it's like what
look at Daniel Jones.
Say that again.
So look at Daniel Jones.
I mean, Daniel Jones isn't getting paid anything near Justin Herbert.
He shouldn't be, but he got paid.
Yeah, I mean that's not really the argument here. No one's saying I can't believe Daniel Jones is the highest paid quarterback in the league. It's Justin Herbert is the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Well, the point is getting paid. Justin Herbert was going to get paid. Everybody knew it.
And how are you going to disrespect? Hold on. How are you going to disrespect?
Contract.
How are you going to
getting rid of him?
How are you going to disrespect Daniel Jones? He has more playoff wins than Herbert does.
Well,
I need some wins, my guy.
Daniel Jones didn't win the game.
The Vikings lost it.
The team wins. As I said, is for Justin Herbert to win, it's not Justin Herbert against 11 other players on the field.
Hey man,
trust me, I'm a Charger fan. I'm used to being, having my heart ripped out because when they do good, it falls apart, and when they're bad, they're bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like to get the heir apparent to Phillip Rivers, paying him, keeping him, great. But what do you do with the rest of the team?
Right.
You'll give Austin Eckler a slight bump, but he's over here holding Zoom calls with other running backs because they want to get paid.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you dropped all of TCU's college football team, and what do you plan on even doing with that? I wouldn't have taken, the wide receiver they took in the draft. So it's like another Mike Williams.
But you got to do that, or maybe not that receiver in particular, but you guys needed to get. You got to get a receiver because you just have problems. Keenan Allen wants to get paid. Mike Williams wants to get paid. Yeah. Austin Eckler wants to get paid, and you got all this money on the defense, and those guys. I mean, outside of Joey Bosa, are underperforming. Well, Derwin James too, but outside of those two guys, it's just you guys got money all over the place, and it's basically like a worse version of the Cowboys.
I was waiting for that.
I can't, but it's not far from the truth, though.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like I can't disagree with that.
Right.
And now we have Kellen Moore. So.
Yeah, Kellen Moore. I'll show you, Mike McCarthy. I'll show you. I got a fancy quarterback.
Chargers 9-8. Lock it in.
We'll get there.
Wow.
That's true.
Speaking of getting there, good old Aaron Rodgers doing stuff he's never did before in his last relationship. Over here giving up 33 M's. What's that about? Packer fans continue to throw salt in their own wound. What is that? You gotta love that. I know the Jets are happy, but 33 mil giving that up. I mean, what do you guys think that says? I mean, for me, that definitely says he's gonna play at least one more year so he could recoup it next season. But what do you think this says? Good guy Rodgers or what?
It's good guy Rogers with like Penny written all over it, because he's like, yeah, no, I want to win here. Oh, also, you know what? So I'm gonna do something I've never done in Green Bay. I'm 40 years old. I don't need all this all of a sudden. So let's take 35 million out of it. I can play for this. And then people in Green Bay are like, no, you could have done that here. We would have built. It's like, nah.
We're in New York, baby. Free
Oh,
agents come.
and on top of that, it was a FU to the Packers.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
they had all these, they were trying, that was like part of the contract negotiations. Like, oh, we don't want to give up too much because we don't know how long Rodgers is going to play, and Rodgers wouldn't say how long he's going to play. So it kind of like gave the Jets a little bit of leverage to not have to give up as much. And then it's like, okay, I want to go to the Jets, but I want the Jets to give up as few assets as possible. All right, I'm here. You guys gave up as few assets as possible. Now I'll take the pay cut. Let's do this shit. I'm trying to win a title, baby. Dalvin Cook, come through.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love it.
It's the dark from the darkness retreat came out the pettiness. I mean, it's not a surprise. I mean, Aaron Rodgers pretty much going from heel to face real quick, and it's apparently he loves New York and actually wants to stay. But I mean, we've heard this before from Aaron Rodgers, but I think he's just happy being out of Green Bay.
Yeah.
Like, you know what?
Yep.
Let me become the good guy. Like,
Yeah, and the PR run that Rodgers is on is real right now, because it's just damn. I watch the Herd pretty much all the time, and I cannot believe Colin Cowherd had nice things to say about Aaron Rodgers, the guy who literally finds any and every opportunity to rip on Aaron Rodgers. It's like, hey, yeah, I like it. I like the move by Aaron.
What a
he's maturing,
twist.
et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, like the PR by the Jets this entire like offseason has been crazy. And did you guys hear what Sean Payton said?
He's let him know.
Bro, he was just talking dirty. He because obviously Hackett's gonna be is the OC for the Jets, and he was just talking about the Broncos from last season. It's like, everything I heard about last season, we're doing the opposite. There's so much dirt around that. There's 20 dirty hands for what was allowed to happen, tolerated in training rooms, meeting rooms, offense. You couldn't even get a play call in. You're 29th in the league in pre-snap penalties on both sides of the ball. Mans just went in and in. It's like, you're saying Wilson's washed? No, he's not. He's still got gas in the tank. So how we feel? I'm Team Russ. I'm Team Russ.
I love that. I think if anything, if I'm Russell Wilson, I hear my coach talking like that about the tenure of last year, that means he's all in on me, and that's just going to make me want to play even harder. Not saying that Russell Wilson didn't play hard last year. It was literally because it was one of the worst head coaching jobs, one of the worst we've seen in the last decade. The worst was Urban Meyer. So,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, for me, I was just more like, I love the energy. I love the fighting words. I didn't appreciate him stepping back the next day. He's like, oh, I'm still like talking like I'm working at Fox. Like, dude, just say it with your chest and own it, man. Don't take a step back, man.
No,
don't be Hashmaster Z.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. No, Sean Payton's a genius, though. So he's just... He knows how to play the media. He wanted that message out there, but then he's like, all right, don't ask me about this shit every day. Let me take a step back.
It was the latte. The latte got him.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It was the Starbucks that got him going.
I'm going to have to run my back. I'm going to have to run my one back with you on that one. So,
yeah.
Well, if Russell Wilson listens to Sean Payton, he'll definitely be better, and he'll let him cook. Like Pete Carroll would.
Yeah. Speaking of letting people cook, or cooking in general, getting cooked, this next guy got a 5-year, $97 million extension just to get cooked. Be number 2 on his own team in the, as a cornerback. Trayvon Diggs, $21 million signing bonus, 5-year, $97 million. How y'all feel, Cowboys fans? It's not bad for your second corner, right?
I mean, some of that signing bonus could have been alleviated and figure out the Zach Martin situation. I think that's a little bit more pressing for me.
I mean, hell, you can never have too many corners in the league. Yeah, he is the number 2 right now. I get it. But he's a building block, and the Cowboys' philosophy is taking care of your guys, especially ones you drafted that have seen success. He's seen success, so it's like, all right, I gotta pay you. With Trayvon Diggs, the thing is, he's a gambler. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses. Last year, underratedly, he, so instead of getting cooked for 1,000 yards the year prior, I think he only allowed 500 receiving yards this year. That's why his interceptions went down. He stopped gambling as much and actually started, playing corner. Yeah, he'll get cooked every now and then, but it's not nearly at the frequency as it was last year. So I think that's what Jerry saw. Dan Quinn was able to identify that, and that's why he got paid.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. What are you going to do? Like Hatchmaster said, be faithful to the building blocks. I like it. You got to keep them. Like I said, I'm not going to change my mind. I'm going to think that signing bonus is a little too steep. We could have figured out Zach Martin with that, because I think that's also a player you got to take care of. There's a key building block. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure it'll, quote, sort itself out. But good on Trayvon Diggs, man. So, I mean, let's go. Learn from Gilmore, and let's be a shutdown core.
All right. Another guy that got his bag. Saquon. Well, he didn't really get his bag. He got a bag.
Man.
He got a bag.
He got a Scooby snack for his trouble.
There you go.
Seriously.
He got a little taste. 1 year deal.
There should be a queue on his week every week for being questionable about off season.
I hope after he signed this deal, he went to go get checked for a concussion, because oh my God, my guy, what's going on? The incentive deal alone has me kind of upset. He basically, for extra pennies on top of his contract, he basically has to play like Josh Jacobs. Oh, and by the way, they have to make the playoffs or you pretty much screwed yourself. What doesn't make any more sense is you didn't even guarantee that they're not going to tag you next season. You didn't create any type of language in this deal that you weren't going to get double tagged. So, shit, dude, you kind of handcuffed yourself to your incentive, I guess.
Yeah, I hate it. And it's like, so Legendarius brought up a really good point last week.
Of course I did.
You said what? You said
of course I did. Of course I did. That's all I do.
Sure.
No bad takes.
Anyway. No. It's about at least being able to acknowledge certain points of information. I feel I'm so right. But you mentioned at the core crux of everything, yeah, it's cool. You like having a running back is icing on the cake. I get it. Having a good one, having a great one, even. But they're probably going to be good for 2 to 3 games. As far as like winning games for you versus a quarterback where it's like you have a chance every single game. So with that being said, me being Saquon Barkley, knowing who I have back there as a quarterback, I'm not going to say guarantee playoffs worth a damn. No, I'm not. No, sirree, Bob. Because that shouldn't be Saquon Barkley's responsibility, because what the Giants could do, which teams have been known to do, is to sabotage their own season at times to make it seem like, oh, Saquon, instead of getting 20 carries a game so you can hit this incentive, we're going to give you 10 to 15 and ask what the hell's going on. Then if we're close to the playoffs, oh, you're hurt. Oh no, I know that you're not hurt, but I think we're gonna make you inactive today, and literally chance it. If you win, all right, you deserve the bag. If not,
oh man, you got hurt and Daniel Jones, he couldn't get it done, and now you don't get paid. Teams are known to do that. As insane as it sounds, that is a fact. Just to get out of paying somebody. So
Bro,
I don't like it for him.
what are we even talking about here? Like, the Giants' win total is at 7.5 games. They ain't making the fucking playoffs, bro.
No, they're not.
There ain't no way.
And that's the other thing too. Like because we said even with Saquon this year, they were at the highest on like a 9-win team.
Yeah.
Highest. And I think we averaged about 6 or 7 wins for them, like we did.
Yeah.
So
sorry,
bad.
Sorry, Saquon, you're not getting 11 million total. You're getting 10.1. Say goodbye to that other 909,000. It ain't happening.
That was.
It's just so unfortunate. I mean, and I think it's really, I just think it's funny how the entire like media platform for the most part is like shifted. Oh, no one's mentioning Josh Jacobs. No one's saying a word about Josh Jacobs at all. Ever since Saquon signed, it's all like, oh my God, Saquon. Oh, it's like, okay, we're just gonna bury Josh Jacobs. Got it.
Well, I mean, Raiders are dumpster fire.
Yeah, Raiders. They might not even have a quarterback for the season. So.
Well, that and Saquon signing this deal, this pretty much hurt all the running backs, at least this year. Because what is Josh Jacobs going to say now? He was on the plane leaving Vegas. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so, I mean, if Saquon's basically signing his franchise tag for, wishful thinking, it's Josh Jacobs shouldn't have anything to say. Exactly. He should be hoping that he gets a job.
Yeah. And on top of it,
Saquon crossed the picket line. That's what happened.
But as like on top of it, it's like you don't have any. There's nothing else you could do if you sit out. Like, what are you gonna? You're not going to get the contract you want, and you're giving up, $10 million.
Yep.
So
he shot himself in the foot.
Yeah. So it's like you don't really have an option. You take the franchise tag.
Well, what I love most about organizations is how, like, I don't know what they actually told Saquon or that conversation that was behind closed doors, but what I like the most is when teams kind of show, what they say with their money rather than their words. Perfect example, Giants offensive tackle Andrew Thomas with the 5-year, $117.5 million extendo on the offensive line. Meanwhile, Saquon, enjoy your $909,000 in incentives.
Exactly.
Oh wait, never mind. We're not going to make the playoffs.
Exactly. If I was Saquon, I would have been like, all that deserves like a $6 million raise. That is something worth playing for. 900,000, like, bro. Don't get me started. I was about to be like, that's some like low key devaluing / slavey shit. Where it's like, I don't need all that money. I could do it for cheap. I'm like, no, that's the whole point of the running back unionizing and being like, no, that alone, that's a $15 million a year guy. Well, at least for 3 years. That's what I would do.
Easily.
Well, 900,000. Kick rocks with that shit.
Yeah.
They need to be looking at the CBA next time and lowering their rookie deals to not be locked in for the first 7 years, with franchise tags and everything. If I'm a running back coming in, you can give me for the first 3.
Yeah, that's really what they need to do. They need to change it so it's like you're locked in 3 years, and then after that you can get a new contract.
Yeah, and not 2 franchise tags, maybe 1.
Yeah,
right.
But
how I would do it is like if you're locked in for 3 years, okay, cool. I'm still 24 years old. You extend me, like, guaranteed contract or something like that for 2 years, right? And then if you decide, or maybe like a franchise tag, but then like either way, the bag is going to be a lot bigger within those 2 years because it's not going to take a lot out of the the salary cap, especially if you're paying like somebody, like some offensive lineman 117 mil. Like you could give me $40 million guaranteed. You could do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're showing, right? Teams are showing where they're putting their value. We're sinking our monies into our quarterbacks, and then we're sinking our monies into our offensive line. I mean, even Titus Howard, I believe it's from the Titans. He gets a 3-year, $56 million extendo. I mean, They want the big boys over the speedy backs and the wide receivers. You know, they want to bolster and protect the quarterback, and they're showing it.
Yeah.
You got to protect the money.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the face of the
true.
franchise. Unfortunately, even the Giants, really, it's not Daniel Jones, it's Saquon Barkley, but clearly that it's a throwing league, and that's what they want, and your money goes to the line and the quarterback, and the running back is been shockingly just thrown down.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
speaking of a throwing league, and I know that Slick, your team has had a legacy tight end. The Kansas City Chiefs has had a legacy tight end, and now we go to the New Orleans Saints with
The crazy signing of Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy.
Jimmy's back.
He's still playing. He's still in the league, huh?
bruh.
Hey, Hatchmaster, you wanna back out of that bet you made? You scared? You scared, bro?
Falcons are
bro?
winning the South.
Saints, baby.
That's
We got
out.
Jimmy Graham back. We ain't never gonna lose. I'm saying
Carly Graham for a touchdown.
That's like, look, that is the equivalent. Why the fuck Nick Batum?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. When initially when they announced the Saints had signed Trey Turner, I was like, "Whoa, this pretty much solidifies Derek Carr's stance in the pocket. This is legit." But I mean, Trey Turner's already out for the season, so never mind. So that's basically a non-move. But yeah, the Saints are trying. That's gonna be a tight bet. I can't wait to see how that turns out.
Tight bet. That's gonna be a runaway.
13-4.
Oh, I'll definitely be
13-4.
No, you're not.
The Saints should run away with it.
Thank you. Somebody with some common sense, even though he's a Chargers fan.
Coming from a Ravens fan. Yeah, but
Coming from a Cowboys fan.
2 Cowboys fans. I don't know. But
double the heartbreak.
But there's no one in the NFC South that should even be competing with the Saints. I mean, it shouldn't be close. But I mean, you still play to win. You still got to play on Sunday. But I mean, there should only be one team as divisional winner, and it should be the Saints by a month long of games.
Thank you. Like, come on, bro. Desmond Ridder. I'm sorry, not scared. Bryce Young.
That's going to be Taylor Heineke really fast.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, before we get too far, I did misspeak. I said Titus Howard of the Titans. Titus Howard is actually of the Texans. My bad.
Boom! Bad reporting.
Oh my god.
This is Bush League over here.
Bush League.
No throwbacks in Houston.
Well, speaking of not Bush League, or it might be Bush League, Jalen Ramsey's on the shelf for first part of the season, up to 8 weeks max after getting tied up in practice with Tyreek Hill. It's like a leg or knee injury or something, but yeah. I don't think this really hurts the Dolphins as much just because they are pretty deep at that position. And once Ramsey comes back, I mean, I think he's just going to slide right in, no problem. And they're going to, go back to up in that win total.
Dolphins are cursed. That's why I can only give them 10 wins, bro.
That was my Dolphin noise.
Right now, it's Ramsey. Mid-season is going to be Tua. The Dolphins are cursed, man.
How are they cursed? How do they acquire this curse?
I don't know. Dan Marino?
Dan Marino is being disrespected his whole career. Yeah, let's start there.
Well, and no one can touch Tua, or the season's going to be.
Yeah, they have a glass quarterback, bro.
Hell yeah.
No, he's been doing Muay Thai and shit. So
no, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Get it right.
Oh, that's right. Same thing, right?
Learning how to fall.
That's right.
Tuck your chin in and fall.
Right. Yeah, actually, that's kind of like one of the most wild things when you think about it. Some of these hyper athletic, world-class athletes don't know how to do certain simple stuff. I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, with Michael Vick learning how to slide. Just stuff like that. Where it's like, wait, what do you mean you don't know how to slide? And then Tua falling down the way he does, and you're like, bro, he does not know how to fall down. And, it's just, I don't know. I just find it funny as in strange. But it's yeah, I'm glad he's getting that done. So,
well, speaking of strange, Kyler Murray is, starting off on the PUP list. Is this a sign of tanking confirmed in Arizona this season?
Well, I mean, we already
I
knew
was-
what was going to happen.
Yeah.
They don't have to try hard to tank. I don't.
Yeah, they're trash anyway.
And that was already
Uh,
supposed to happen.
Now
They-
let's be real about the pup list. You got to remember, Filthy. He tore his ACL in like week 12, so I don't think he, especially somebody, who's hyper athletic like Kyler Murray. I wouldn't want to rush him back because
Yeah, he's not ready to come back anyway. Yeah, he's not ready anyway.
Exactly.
Plus, it's Call of Duty is calling, so
Yeah, working on that Twitch channel, working on those numbers.
Good. Yeah, make your other streams of revenue.
the headset is not for the quarterback; it's for COD.
Oh,
Not getting no play calls. Well, they gave Buda Baker more money, so
Well, shit, they gotta do something.
they're keeping somebody. I don't.
That's it. Buda Baker, and that's it.
James Conner is not scary. I don't.
Shit.
Yeah, never has been. Never
Nope.
will be. All right. Speaking of the Cardinals, since we're already talking about it, should we just go into our predictions, starting with the NFC West, or what?
Yeah,
Let's
let's
do
do
it.
it.
Let's get to it.
Cardinals, baby. Their over/under is 4.5 wins. Whew.
Oh,
Whew.
Yeah.
What we doing here? What we doing here? Let's let our guest Slick answer first. Slick, how many wins the Cardinals getting?
3.
Woo!
4.5 was an absolute gift. I don't.
that's right.
We gave them 4.5. I'm taking the under all day. I mean, whether it's a tank job or not, I mean, if they don't have the first pick next year, they should have the first 2 picks the way they're going. Definitely 3 wins is probably even being more generous, but I'm going 3.
I like it. Filthy.
Man, I'm going retro, man. I think they're gonna be a 2-win team, man.
2 wins.
Dude,
Oh
I'm going
my
old
God.
school losers.
Y'all disrespect. They got a new coach, bro. Oh,
Okay.
if you guys don't know,
They still got
I got
James
Arizona
Conner.
ties, so my Cardinals fans are sick right now. I just want to rub it in. 2 wins, 3 wins. Hatchmaster Z, how many wins these Cardinals getting?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I actually almost had a bet none. But
No wins.
but I will. You know what? I'll give you like a. I think they're gonna be the worst team in the 17 game schedule history. So I'm gonna give them one win. One
Oh,
win.
damn.
I like
One
they're
win.
that bad. They're that bad to me. Like, yeah. No.
All right, so which fan experience is gonna be better, Arizona or Washington?
Oh, Washington.
Washington.
Washington, man. Like, I mean, at least they'll have some moments. I don't see anything good about the Arizona Cardinals. What did they do well? Nothing. What did like? Where are the blue chip players? Nowhere. Like,
There's
Kyler
nothing to
Murray-
celebrate. Yeah.
yeah. And then even when he comes back, right? He's gonna come back to probably 0-13, right? And if he does play, which I highly doubt he does, then he's probably good for 2 to 3 wins. But I don't think he's coming back this season, personally.
I wouldn't if I was him.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Exactly.
either. It's just like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
He's got his deal. He's paid. Yeah, Washington can celebrate getting rid of Dan Snyder all year.
Yeah.
How many wins you got them getting, Legendarius?
I'm giving them 2 wins. They're gonna start out 1-0, and then they're gonna be 1-13, and they'll beat the Bears.
Stop it. Because the Bears are resting for the playoffs. I'm just playing.
Actually, they're gonna lose to the Bears. They'll beat the Texans, maybe.
See, you can't even guarantee that. This is
can't.
serious.
I can't. 2 wins. 2 wins, guys. You guys beat the Commanders, maybe, and you beat the Texans. Colt
Maybe.
McCoy, baby.
Oh, my
Anyways, on to this
Colt
next
McCoy
team.
Mm.
You got the Rams, and I gotta say, this is a shocking one to me. Their win total is 6.5.
Yeah.
Should
We
be
going
lower.
on? We going over? We going under? Somebody who said it should be lower?
I was joking, but yeah, it was me.
Oh, you're joking? Should it be lower? They going over? They going under?
Oh, so you stand on your opinion, filthy.
That wasn't even an opinion.
Don't hide your opinions. Oh.
No, I still think the Rams they definitely have work to do. They're still feeling the effects of that Super Bowl win. So they still got some work to do. They still got Coop. They still got a fighting chance. Aaron Donald's still there. I'm gonna give them. That's ugly. I'm gonna give them 7.
7. Hashmaster, how we feeling?
I mean, at a certain point, McVay has to save face. So why not now?
Right. I gotta say it's gonna be a rough one for them this year. Now they're not going below 6.5. They'll be. I got them at 7. I just think offensively they'll be all right. They'll be cool. They haven't really. I mean, Sony Michel is back, but it's like there's a lot of issues. Exactly. There's a lot of issues and holes on that roster that they still need to fix. Maybe they know something I don't, but as of now, 7 wins.
Slick, how we feeling? Who will be the best team in LA?
It's definitely easily the Chargers, but 6.5. I'm gonna go 6. And then they stay under.
Oh,
I just it's tough. 6, 7. That's you're treading on ground. I think maybe that's one of the Cardinals wins of my 3 wins for them is that they actually take one from the Rams, but their only division win. But there's like Hashmaster said, there's so many holes. Filthy with the hangover from the Super Bowl, still missing a lot of coaches. I don't see them. Stafford to Cup. I mean, if Stafford gets hurt again, it's really a wrap then.
Exactly.
What you mean? Stafford gets hurt. They got the young goat. They got the young goat they drafted, Stetson Bennett, 2-time champ, son.
Oh. Man, LA is not Georgia.
Hey, I'm giving them 8 wins, maybe 9.
Okay.
I'm giving them. I'm gonna give them 8. I'm gonna be on the low end. They're going over because they got a cute little schedule. Because they get to play the NFC East, so that's 2 wins. Giants and Commanders. Maybe 3. You never know.
Hey, watch him out. Watch him out.
That's 2 wins. They got the Cardinals twice. That's another 2 wins. That's 4 wins right there. Split one with the Seahawks. Play the Packers. Colts. I can see them getting 8. 8 wins. Let's go, Rams. Skull Rams. And on to the next team. We got the Seahawks. Their win total is at 8.5. How we feel? Geno Smith. They wrote me off. I am right back, though. Is he still written off? We riding off the Seahawks again? Or are they going back to the playoffs?
All eyes on Geno. Go. Well, yeah.
Well, I guess it's all eyes on you now.
Yeah, no. You know what? Seahawks are a very interesting team. I think they're going to be like around the same talent level as last year, where it's like they're going to start off hot and maybe teeter off when they play against better teams. They're a wild card team in the NFC, so I'll give them 9 wins again.
All right, 9 wins. Slick, how we feel about Seattle?
I'm gonna go 9 wins too. Something about the Seahawks, they just don't ever go away.
Yeah.
I don't know what Pete Carroll does up there besides chew his gum to high heaven. but I like Walker the third. Geno seems to do his job. DK. They have. From last year when surprising everybody, they'll be less of a surprise. But I think with the other 2, the Rams and the Cardinals below them, they should easily get to 9 wins at least.
I feel it. I'm giving them 10 wins. I was sticking with you guys at 9 wins, but then, I'm out here scrolling the schedule, and I mean, they got the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, so that's a dub. That gives them 10 wins. If not, I was gonna give them 9. But you know how the Cowboys play
Yeah.
when the shiny lights are on. So I see Geno Smith balling out on Thanksgiving, giving him that extra win. Seahawks get 10 wins. I do like the moves they made in this draft. Picking up Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's going to be a beast. Now they have 3 like legitimate receivers along with Lockett and Metcalf. I feel like Geno will get off. They got Ken Walker and they got a backup because Ken Walker is known to get hurt. They picked up Zach Charbonnet. Obviously, their strength is at defense. They already had a shutdown corner last year, and they decided to pick up another one with Devon Weatherspoon. So I just feel like with Weatherspoon, Tariq Woolen, don't forget they got Quandre Diggs. They got to get Jamal Adams back. They should have him back this year. Like, their defense is going to be a problem. And they got Bobby Wagner back. All right. 10 wins. Seahawks are real.
I'm not even gonna argue to that.
I'm gonna stick with the 9. I had him at 9. Actually, a lot of that defensive personnel starting off injured on training camp. They signed Witherspoon late after some soft contract disputes. So I mean, they have some stuff to get together. I'm not fully on board with the defense yet. I gotta see. I got to see how long they're out. I know Jordan Brooks is out. I know Tariq Woolen is out a little bit. So, I mean, they just got to get back on the field first before I see anything. But I'm going to stick with 9. They definitely always have potential to upset, the Niners or upset one of the top tier teams. They're always going to have that mysticism about them. But I'm going to hold that 9.
12th man.
Yep.
Yeah.
They re-signed their linebacker, too. 3 years, $59 million. What's his name? Nowusu.
Oh yeah,
Nowusu.
Yeah, he got a new deal too.
Nice. Yeah, I like the Seahawks. They did a lot of work. I'll just keep it at that. They did a lot of work. They have a lot of new additions from last season. A lot of young pieces. Maybe a young LOB in the making. We'll see.
I think so. Absolutely.
Wild card for sure, though.
Yeah.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yes, sir. And last but not least, we got the Niners. The Niners. Forever faithful Niners. Still on that quest for 6. Still on that quest for 6. But their over-under is at 10.5. Or their win total is at 10.5. How we feeling? Because the Niners eliminated the Cowboys from the playoffs, I want to start with the Cowboys fans. How many wins the Niners getting this year?
I got him at 13.
Woo!
What?
Woo!
I'm so disappointed.
Top defense in the league just signed Devon Hargraves. Gonna have Bosa right there off the line. The secondary is absolutely monster. The offense runs by itself. Just plug and play a quarterback. What are we talking about here?
Oh my god!
Look at this. What are we talking about here?
Ashmaster Z's disgusted. How many wins you giving him?
I am disgusted with you. Don't talk anymore. I mean, it's not 13. I'll tell you that. I got them at 11-6. Like, it's a solid record. I think because for the lack of a quarterback, you're telling me, like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, plug and play a quarterback, but we're talking about Sam Darnold. Like, are we trusting him? Despite
we're trusting Brock Purdy right now to QB1.
Yeah, well, with a torn UCL, so
he's back throwing, bro.
He has no restrictions.
So
what are we talking about?
Okay, like it's just like, are we going to rely on ground and pound and somewhat throwing the ball forever? No,
you're relying on Kyle Shanahan's ability to have a master like center fold on his offense, which he absolutely has. What do you mean?
Brock Purdy's not that guy, so
he doesn't have to be the guy. He just has to be a QB. Kyle Shanahan just needs a quarterback. It doesn't matter.
And he could be back throwing. Doesn't mean he's healthy. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say. I think there's going to be, like I said, issues at the driver of the engine of the offense. So
okay, but the defense is what's going to win them games. Fred Warren or Hargraves, Bosa. What are we talking about here, dude?
13-4. So you think they're going to be a better team than Philly?
Bro.
Yes.
Hashmaster,
What?
you sound like a fool. Look at the schedule. Week 1, Steelers, dub. Rams, dub. Giants, dub.
I
Cardinals,
like how you said
dub.
it like with confidence as if the Steelers can't steal one.
Oh,
Not
Kenny
against
Pickett's
the
that
Niners.
good?
Are you kidding me?
Like, what? Kenny Pickett's that guy now? Stop it. Dub.
Anything to discredit the Niners.
Dub.
I don't think. I think it's just being
Wait, so
understated
they're going to
until we
LA and
actually
just
see a
beating up on the
team.
Rams?
Until we actually see a team beat up the Niners defensive line for a whole 4 quarters of football, I don't see a single team offensive line that can come
Chiefs
even
did it.
close to competing with the Niners on the defensive line. What do you mean?
The Chiefs did it. Eagles did it.
Javon Hargrave has not played a game for the Cowboys. I mean, I'm sorry, for the Niners yet. So look at me, wishful thinking. He hasn't started a game for the Niners yet. We don't know what the Niners defense is going to be. This is going to be a better Niners defense.
Man. Yeah, I understand the logic.
You bugging.
11-6.
11-6. You're crazy. All right. Slick, how many wins the Niners get?
I'm going 12 wins.
12.
12. Right in between. I know Brock Purdy is the man right now, but if he does get hurt again, Darnold and Lance. Lance is already on the outs already. Obviously the Niner defense stout. They rely a lot on Kyle Shanahan just to figure it out. And you do need that quarterback piece. I mean, I'm not. Is Brock Purdy the man he is right now? It won't. Sam Darnold will see ghosts, and Trey Lance hasn't really seen the field. So, there's a lot actually on Brock Purdy, and even he got hurt. He got him there. Apparently, he understands the playbook and understands his job.
Yeah.
And it's not to be a stud quarterback. It's to the Shanahan system is zone blocking and get the ball to Debo, get the ball to your playmakers. He doesn't have to be a stud. I mean, Roethlisberger won rings, and his numbers were not that great when he was a rookie either. So, it can be done. I mean, I think it's Shanahan or bust. Really, it's not really on the quarterback. It's Debo stay healthy, McCaffrey stay healthy. The defense has got to stay healthy because that's how they really win games. You just can't score on them. But
Yep.
You got 2 bad teams in your own division with the Rams and the Cardinals. Maybe they split one with Seattle, maybe, but I mean this is their division, and they should be running away with it like the Saints should be running away with the South.
I feel you. 14 wins. Best record in football. 14-3.
Okay.
They're gonna lose 3 games, possibly, to the Ravens, to the Bengals, and forgot the other one. The Eagles. Eagles rematch. Nah, come on. Trying to be realistic here, guys. I'm kidding. Maybe 4 wins. They could lose to the Cowboys. We'll see.
4 losses, man.
Oh yeah, my bad. 4 losses. Freudian slip. Let's get on to the AFC. Raiders 7.5 projected win total.
Wow.
We all know they're going under. The question is, how far under, Hashmaster Z?
They were 6-11 last year. They'll be 6-11 this year.
Oh, 6-11.
Yeah.
Slick, how we feeling? This is your division.
I'm going with 5 wins. 1 game worse than last year. Josh Jacobs' situation, even if he comes back to play, who knows what you're going to get now? I mean, Josh McDaniels, he's just not a head coach.
Yeah, exactly.
The coordinator.
His system is coordinating, great, but as a head coach, he seems to be just lost. Doesn't know how to manage the team. And Carr gone. I mean, it's Jimmy G. Finally, I guess healthy. Never been a big believer in Jimmy G. Anyway. He's just a game manager. I don't see him getting the ball to Devontae Adams, on a regular basis without throwing it to the ground first. I think 5 wins is probably a little generous, but I'm sure they'll figure it out against 5 teams at least.
I don't see it. I don't see it, guys.
Me neither. I got him at 4. Losing Derek Carr and possibly not having a startable workhorse like Josh Jacobs. That's gonna definitely cost you. Devontae Adams in for a long season. 4 all the way.
Yep. I'm giving him 3 wins. I don't believe in Josh McDaniels. I don't believe in Jimmy G. I don't think that Josh Jacobs is going to come back. And when he does, I don't think he's going to try that hard. I think Devontae Adams is going to request a trade before the trade deadline. And I think Josh McDaniels is going to get the axe. Well, we'll see. Unless they, get the number 1 pick and draft Caleb Williams. That'll be his only saving grace.
It's the Raiders. You never know.
Yeah, I was like Devontae Adams. I just can't see him on a 3-win team. So, but yeah, if he requests a trade, all that stuff, that makes sense. I could agree.
Now let's get to the Broncos, the biggest disappointment of the last season. But they're already got their win total at 8.5. I think they're going over, guys. Ooh. I got the Broncos winning 10 games.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. Sean Payton. He ain't a loser. He knows how to win. He knows how to coach. He knows offense. He gonna unlock Russ. Javonte Williams is back. He's supposed to be ready to start week 1. And, pretty much all the expectations that the Broncos had last year, they still have those. They have those same expectations, but now they actually have the coach that can get them there. So I got the Broncos 10-7 in the playoffs. Better than the Chargers. What?
Wow. That's not happening. We know that.
I don't know. I don't
know. Happening.
I got the Broncos at 9. I think, Payne's going to be okay. I just think there'll be the occasional blunder to start the season, but they'll get on track to finish. I got them at 9.
Oh my God. I think I'm riding the Darius train here, the Legendarius train. I like the 10 wins because last year was an absolute joke. Let's just be real. And the fact that they allowed such a low point total and they couldn't score. If they would have scored 1 touchdown above that, they would have won a lot of games. And I would say Sean Payton's good for like at least 10 points a game. So I'm going 10 wins. I'm going 10 wins. Russell Wilson's too good to go out like that.
Slick.
I'm going 9 wins. I think they improve, but I don't think it's going to be this year immediately. I know Sean Payton's, as spicy as he wants to be in the off season, despite his latte drinking, but anything is an improvement from last year. I mean, obviously it was a terrible season, but Nathaniel Heineck's another one of those. Like I think Michael McDaniels, he just doesn't know how to head coach. But I mean, they have a good team there, and Javonte Williams. I mean, when he plays, he's good, but that's when he plays. Obviously, they weren't never going to trade a wide receiver. I don't know why people kept blowing that up. Sutton and Judy were going nowhere. Not with Sean Payton being there, but I think it's I think with Sean Payton being there, there's a little bit more hype train into it. They're the great value team. Team Walmart, and I think Sean Payton's paid. I don't think he's going to turn it around that fast, but 9 wins seems fair. Flirt with the playoffs.
All right, and it's your time. You keep those vocal cords open. We on to the Chargers. 9.5 win total. Talk to me, over. Chargers fan. Talk to me.
Absolutely over. We're winning 11 games, maybe 12.
Yep.
Win.
We have our window. We have our quarterback. J.C. Jackson is back. And despite Eckler being, Zoom calling his life away, he's still going to be in camp playing. They're built right now. And the question is for me is, can you stop the run and stay healthy?
Okay. Do you have faith in your coach?
I have more faith in Kellen Moore. I think he'll be running north to south. Opening up that offense as opposed to that kind of shut-in offense that we saw last year that just was hard to generate. Forward progress and just that's why they were going for it on fourth down because you just won't move the ball. I would, like I said, I would have fired the entire coaching staff after the playoffs last year, but that being the case, and I need Staley to do his defensive thing and stop the damn run. Right. Kendricks is a nice addition. J.C. Jackson is back healthy. They have every nice name, every piece. DJ's been healthy, but can they be healthy on the field together and play? And their Achilles heel's always been stopping the run. You can run it right down their throat, and then they can do nothing about it. So, it's they can the offensive wise they've always been good. I think they can hang with the Bengals, the Chiefs offensive wise, but get to the other side of the ball. Can you get a stop or two of those important stops? And they haven't been able to do it. I mean, they went to Duval and got ran over in one half.
All right.
Filthy?
They were kind of hard for me to kind of call. They got a tough stretch of games over here from like October to November, man. They got Dallas, Kansas City, they got the Bears, they got Jets, got Lions. That's a tough stretch right there. I think that's gonna make or break the season right there. But I agree with the Slick. It's gonna come down to stopping the run. They're extremely generous on the ground, and then I guess we'll see too what that offense has with Kellen Moore and Herbert. But I'm gonna soften it. I got them at 9.
Yeah, I got them at 9. Being generous too, but they got a tough schedule, and don't be surprised that they started out the season 0-3. I'm just saying. Another thing with the Chargers, injuries, especially at wide receiver, happens damn near every year. Keenan Allen's hurt. Mike Williams is hurt. Do they ever do anything to get insurance? Not really, but they finally decided to draft Quentin Johnston, who also had some injury history at TCU. But hopefully he won't this time. But it's a typical
my draft pick, but
yeah, it's typical Chargers. It's like, hey, these guys get hurt every year, but let's run it back with the same guys that get hurt every year so that they start the season and then get hurt. And then we complain about why our receivers are hurt every year.
Yeah, strength and conditioning needs to be fired. I mean, like I said, I'm going to fire the whole coaching staff.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing because literally the Dallas Cowboys cycle is pretty fucking bad. Let me just say that now. It's like we're gonna win. It's our year, and then we go through like a good regular season, and then drop a few games that kind of is like a harbinger for things to come. Oh, we can't beat good teams. Go to the playoffs, maybe win one game. We'll see. Divisional game somehow shit the bed. Cycle starts all over again. Chargers, it's like top to down, top to bottom. Oh, best roster in the league easily. Next thing you know,
get hurt.
Some fuck shit. Yeah, everyone's hurt for like 3 weird ass times of the season 2. Oh, you're hurt for 6 weeks. All of a sudden, your other best players out for extended 8 weeks, and then it's like they've never played together. Then they play together, they look good, and then they just falter. So,
yep,
it's just funny, in an unfortunate way, but.
As a Charger fan, I have to believe that they're eventually going to get their run and actually be healthy one of these times and actually be substantial and do it. It's like I said, it's just the hardest thing being a Charger fan because they look good on paper and then they play well. And then all of a sudden, like you said, something happens and it's, uh-oh. And Herbert's playing hurt and trying to throw you back into the game. And it's like, you can only do so much. They still don't stop the run. They don't address their real problem. Like, Johnston, okay, you got a receiver, not the receiver I would have picked, but it is what it is.
Hashmaster, what was your prediction?
Just about 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I so the thing that
Chargers, it's like they're the tease, right? It's like you see the potential of them winning 12 games. So it's not like I'm gonna be like, no, you're crazy for saying that. It's like, fuck, this is a team that could do that. Thing is, I haven't seen them be healthy long enough to really believe in that. And then their floor, like, if they're gonna be what I think they're gonna be, then they're a 9-win team where it's like they're middling around 500. There's times and stretches where they look great, and then injuries derail their season, and then they limp to the finish line. So,
yes, sir. And you know who's going to be at the finish line standing at that number 1 spot? Kansas City. The Chiefs. Win total at 11.5. I always love to do this. Slick, at mid-defeat, how many wins the Chiefs getting?
13.
Look at that. He's a Chargers fan. He already said we cannot win the division. The highest. I know we have the highest paid quarterback in the league, but we cannot beat these guys.
I'm just because I'm a fan doesn't mean I'm not a realist. you got to give them their due. You know what I mean? Like the defending Super Bowl champion, they traded away one of the best receivers in football, and they turn around and win the whole thing. So, my team is got to the playoffs and got routed. I'd be crazy to think that the Chargers are going to overtake the division by adding in an offensive coordinator and drafting a wide receiver. You know what I mean? So,
routed. You guys only lost by 1.
The Chiefs.
I'm kidding.
The Chiefs' kingdom is ruling the NFL. They have the best player, generational talent in the league. He's the face of the league. Patrick Mahomes. You saw him on the show Quarterback on Netflix. He puts in the work. He's trying to get into that Brady mode.
Yeah.
So, as much as from San Diego as a Charger fan, I'm also an NFL fan, and you got to give him the respect. And he's got 2 rings. Didn't get that just by, sheer happenstance. Andy Reid's one of the best head coaches in history. Man, and he changes gears in the second half. Doesn't matter what the score is.
Yeah, I agree. Filthy. How many wins?
I think the hardest thing for me wasn't so much how many wins they're gonna get, but what games would they or could they realistically lose? And it's kind of really difficult. You can kind of rationalize it, but it's really easy to. It's just hard to find an L on this team. I don't want to go too high, but it's just looking. I think they're getting 14.
Yeah. Honestly, you can put me down for 14 too.
Look at that. Great minds sometimes do think a lot. I also put them 14 wins, but I do think it could be higher.
Yeah, and that's the scary part too. It's just like, damn, man, because especially too, if we're buying into all that, everything that we saw in quarterback in terms of Mahomes and how that organization is working for W's and all this other stuff, man, like, well, even last season alone, it's just how can you? They're just in their prime, almost like when the Pats were doing all that winning. It's like, damn, how can you just really count against them? And you can't. And until they prove that they can consistently lose, man, I can't. So, another season of the Chiefs.
And on top of that, they just make those little sneaky good moves where you're just like, oh, look at y'all. Like last year, it was swooping up Legendarius Tony. And then this offseason, sneaky good move. They swoop up Richie James. I was just like, oh, look at y'all getting the slot receiver. Like just taking everything from the Giants, a little piece year by year. I feel like Richie James is a nice pickup for them. Obviously, they drafted the receiver, and because when you look at their receiving room, the Tony injury is supposed to be good for week 1. But like on paper, like it's like, all right, they don't really have a number 1 receiver, but it's like they got a lot of number 2s. You know what I mean? And maybe we just call Travis Kelce a receiver now. It's like that's the number 1. You can't guard him.
He is a number 1 wide receiver despite his position title, and somehow he's always open. I don't know how that happens. Oh, he's always open. Like if I'm the defensive coordinator, I have 2 on you the entire game. I don't care who it is. There's 2 people on 87 the whole game. But when you turn around, Mahomes to Kelsey. It's like, how is he still open?
Yeah, it is crazy. But before we get out of here, you know, we ran a little long this week, guys. But before we get out of here, we got to get bold claims 2.0. Slick, start us off with your bold claim for the NFL season.
A bold claim for the NFL season that the Chargers actually win the West and go to the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
That's a bold claim, and I just picked the Chiefs to win the division. So that's a bold ass claim.
That
Somehow
is
they
a
put it together.
bold claim.
Yep, gotta believe.
That's true. Hashmaster Z, hit me.
Oh my God. Here we go. If there was ever such thing as a viral moment, this is it. So, bold claim
Better be viral.
for the 2023 NFL season. We got Dak Prescott winning the MVP, making it to the NFC Conference Championship, and going to the Super Bowl. Let's do it.
Boring.
These are like crackheads.
He's not throwing that many picks this year. Come on.
He's not throwing 10 picks ever again, guys. What do you mean?
We agreed it was going to be 25.
Okay, he's not Jameis Winston. Okay, don't disrespect him.
But those prawns.
Filthy, hit me. What you got?
I'm thinking that the Bills trade for either Saquon or Josh Jacobs.
Ooh, that is a bold claim. I like that.
Ooh.
Because they need a running back. James Cook is legit, but come on, why not? Why not? You want the Super Bowl Bills? You got to prove it right now. Got to give it up and get a running back.
Yeah, James Cook's too small, so those backs would be perfect for him.
And just signed his brother Dalvin.
He's being held hostage in New York by the Jets until he signs.
Yeah,
basically, he's being wooed by the darkness.
Well, as a Ravens fan, it is, just against everything in my bones to pick anybody else to come out of the AFC other than Baltimore. So my bold claim is going to be in the NFC. Saints Super Bowl. Let's go.
No,
13-4, Derek Carr, Saints to the Super Bowl.
That's pretty bold.
I like it.
They got the roster. How do you like it? You said the Falcons win in the.
No, that's just hella bold.
Are you backing out of the bet?
When I win the bet, that's it.
Oh, there's no backing out. It's already over here.
That's locked in.
I know. I'm trolling.
I didn't do all this typing for nothing.
Oh, I just can't wait. Like week after week after I'm like, hey, what happened to the Cowboys this week, guys? And then you guys are complaining about Dak, and it's like, not Dak the MVP. That guy. It has to be some other Dak,
Shit, these are both claims. Right. This is the year, right? We finally have a number 2 receiver, Brandon Cooks.
Finally, you had one 2 years ago.
I know, right? The irony. Yeah, it's just at this point, like shit, fucking I haven't given my Dallas Cowboys any type of good claims for the past 5 years. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. If this is the year to do it,
they didn't deserve it.
I feel this is exactly. I feel like the window right now is just as open as it ever was. Not open as in like wide open, but open enough to make some noise. And they squandered 2 of those years back to back. Like if you do it a third time, then I'm kind of like done for another 5 years. So
imagine being a Browns fan.
Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel. We got it now. It's Deshaun Watson.
I mean, come on, what a position of privilege to just be the type of fan where it's like, man, Super Bowl or bust, Super Bowl or bust. Man, Cleveland, they just want a postseason
wanna
Win a
win.
fucking
experience.
game.
Win a game.
What are you talking about? They got a postseason win like 2 years ago. They straight for like the next decade. Remember Baker Mayfield came out there and gave it to Big Ben. Although
best
it wasn't
11 game stretch
although
in
it wasn't
NFL
really
history.
although it wasn't really Baker Mayfield, it was a defense. But
Right.
Yeah. Now
And then
that they
gave
got to
to
do it
Deshaun
for
Watson.
Deshaun, so it has to be a Deshaun playoff season for them.
yes, sir. That's gonna be a wrap for episode 24. Kobe Bryant would be proud.
Big Slick, what you got coming up? Rep your stuff one more time.
You can go to on Instagram, the All in Music Universe. I got some music and stuff up there. All in Music Universe on YouTube. Got some videos on there. I do have I'm working on my own podcast called I'm You. It's going to be more like a lifestyle variety. That sports are going to be involved too, but a little bit more general as far as the current events and stuff like that. I'll be talking about that. So watch out for that. I'll probably start recording that here soon. Otherwise, and I'd like to thank you guys. Like I said, I've been down for Necessary Roughness till Sports Minds now. Thank you for having me on. Definitely a good time. And I look forward to hopefully coming on again and eventually having you guys on my podcast eventually.
Hell yeah.
We appreciate it, and we definitely gonna have you back on end of the season to see how these Chargers fared, and we'd love to collab with you as well.
Absolutely.
I look forward to it and definitely support you guys. And if you're out there, like, subscribe, 5-star rating. I've been down from day one, and behind the scenes and on the show. So, Filthy knows.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sirree.
Like you said.
We have a lot of things in common. So, but, definitely, I can't wait to be back and see where these charges are at and talk more about it. But thank you guys.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. And like you said, like, subscribe, rate us 5 stars. We're going to be on vacation next week, but we'll be back the week after that. All right?
All right.
Peace.
Number 24, Mamba mentality.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Hey, yo.
Still